Good evening and welcome to my end of the week recap video here for SPY and trade plan for next week. Monday, G20 gave us a nice gap up. Market seems to have liked what they heard. Channels of communication are back open as far as negotiating the trade war. So for now, looking like we're bullish. Robots like what they heard, and there's more buying. Couple of call spreads I had ended up making good money. Some expired worthless. My put spreads expired worthless on Monday, so made a little bit of money on it, but not near what I had hoped. After the selling kind of wore off here into the day on Monday, tried to take a couple of positions here for a bottom play. Tried these 294.5 calls initially at 56. Those stopped me out at 50. Next, I tried another opportunity. You can see this green hammer candle here. Took the same calls here at 45. The initial pop up here actually took some off at 56. The rest of them trailed me out right here at break even at 45. So a little bit of green there between those two, and then the third attempt is the one that really worked out. Took the same calls here at 32 and closed those out at 53, which I believe that's right where VWAP was. Of course, price action did start or continue moving in my favor and would have worked out nicely had I held a little bit longer, but once my target was hit, just went ahead and took them off. Because of the sell-off on Monday, as a result of that gap up, I thought we were going to hit resistance somewhere on Tuesday. We did. We put an inside bar here, so I took these 296 puts here at 67. Started rolling down very easily. Took some off here at $1 flat. Took some more off here just underneath the prior opening range low at 120, and the rest trailed me out up here at 98 for a very nice trade there. Afterwards, there was a bottoming trigger that signaled for me to go ahead and get in some 295 calls here at 77. VWAP was again right up here in this area, and took my profits at VWAP at 102. Later in the day, we were closing at highs here, so took some calls overnight. These 297 calls here at 29, and my target was just 50 cents. No real reason, just nice even level that I wanted to get out at, and I did so. However, in hindsight, these things went almost $2 in the money and would have been a very, very nice trade here at the end of the day, or by the end of the day on Wednesday into the 4th of July. So a little bit of missed opportunity there, but still overall very good week. And on to Friday. Opening range sold off immediately. I sat and I waited for my bottoming trigger to tell me to take some calls, where I took some 296.5s right here at 40 cents. VWAP again was the initial target, so I reduced some here at 70. They actually went up to almost $1 right here. Did not take it. I was trailing some a portion of the trade. I was trailing it up here. Took some off at 72. The remainder actually took me off here at 130. So overall, it was a very nice trade there. If I would have held the whole position, it would have been a very, very, very nice trade. At this same level, I tried to take some SPX calls here. Actually, just one call. This 29.85 at 390. I said if it failed 297.55, I was going to dump it, which is the same place that my 296.5 calls were taken out. And then price action proceeded to rally without me. Now call it missing out or revenge trade or whatever. Thought I could try and catch a top right here, so I tried these 298 puts here at 34. About 6 minutes later, stopped me out at 31 cents for a small little loss. So overall, very green on the week for SPY, and looking forward to next week and what it's going to have for us. Now, end of the day today, I did actually take some 296 puts here just for protection. There was a late day tweet from President or I don't know if it's president, but Xi from China, saying they are not going to continue purchasing agricultural goods from us if we start the trade war back up. They want to keep the lines of communication open, and yeah, so I think that might cause a tweet war with President Trump going into next week, which we may have some turmoil on Monday and maybe a gap down. So a little bit of protection on my part there. If we do gap down, I will look for entries at my significant moving averages, 8 EMA here, 21 EMA here, 50 SMA here, and down here is the 200 SMA. Those are the levels I'll be looking at, and calls at those levels I'll be looking at. In my opinion, it looks like we are now leaving or trying to leave an area of a year and a half of consolidation for the SPY. You can see here since pretty much all of 2018 and now into the midway through 2019, we've gone nowhere. So maybe this is where we're going to start making our new leg up that I was talking about last year before we crashed. Who knows? But that's the way I'm operating, and that's what I'm looking at. I do have targets overhead at uh, for this month anyways, about 303-ish. Overall flag target up here is around 308 if it does get some momentum and starts pushing up higher. Onto the weekly candle, big huge green bullish hammer candlestick. Generally this is a very bullish candle. However, at highs can be looked at as a potential bearish reversal as far as a hanging man kind of candle where you gap up, have a long lower wick, but you still close at highs. The most ideal ones would normally be red, but since this one's green, it looks like the bulls were able to take back the vast majority of price action away from the bears, close above significant levels, and start to run away. So for now, I'm still overall all out bullish, and I will go over here to futures because it's a lot more clean as far as what's been going on that price chart once it loads. Here we have the weekly time frame where, just like on SPY, we've broken above, closed above, and started to push away from this red line, which is an area of what was resistance, should now be considered support. I can remove these other lines because they are no longer important. Get them off of here. And that way it's a little bit cleaner. Still have this overall flag measure move up to about 30.50 for E-mini futures. As long as we stay above next week at 29.67, I don't see any reason we can't continue this rally higher. Last week we had price compression, which just means after a big move up, there was a battle where price was the range of price was narrower than the prior candle, at least in this instance for the weekly time frame, and started to expand a little bit higher. Now, it's kind of tough to say that because it was a short week. We're missing a day and a half of price action and volume. Had we had a full week, maybe we closed up closer to 3,000, but we'll see if there's follow through next week. Now, I also want to touch on transports. So overall, S&P and E-mini futures do look very bullish. I want to see transports confirm that move. So as these pull up, the weekly time frame I'm going to stick with because the month is too new to really analyze. The weekly time frame has come back inside of this indecision bar at the very least, and in my experience, once price action does do that, it's very likely you go back up and test the other side of that consolidation area. So I'm looking for a move up to about 196.80, 197. I mentioned in the trade crew room last week there was a significant amount of call spread in the August 197, 199 calls. Somebody's betting pretty heavily that transports are going to continue. Now, if the trade war with China does subside and there's some progress made, transports are going to be probably the most benefited industry or sector in the market. So FedEx, UPS, American Airlines, Delta Airlines, who were the other ones? Union Pacific, CSX. A lot of these transports are probably going to start popping if there is positive news that they start to work towards something in the very near future. So we'll keep that in mind. And overall, transports are still very bullish. I mean, as you zoom out, it's extremely easy to see. It's in a very strong uptrend, nice channel. Maybe it pulls back a little bit more, but still very strong in my opinion. So anyways, those are my thoughts, my analysis, my trade plan for next week for SPY. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them down below. Have a good weekend and good luck on Monday.